Dear children, today we start our second chapter, Structure of Atom. You already know about the structure of atom. That is, an atom is spherical in shape with positively charged nucleus at its center and electrons are revolve around it in a circular path. Different models are proposed for explaining the structure of atom. Thomson's atom model, Rutherford's atom model, Bohr atom model, etc. In this chapter, we will study about Bohr's atom model. According to Niels Bohr, electrons are revolving around the nucleus, but their energy remains fixed. So, they are restricted to revolve around a particular orbit. Each of these orbits have a fixed distance from the nucleus and associated with a fixed amount of energy. These orbits with fixed amount of energy are known as energy levels or discrete orbits or stationary state. Bohr suggested that electrons revolving around the nucleus do not radiate energy. Then, how to name these orbits to indicate their positions? Its symbol. Beginning from the nucleus, we named them as K shell, L shell, M shell, N shell, and so on. These shells are numbered by using the symbol N when N is equal to 1, which indicate K shell. When N is equal to 2, which indicate L shell. Then when N is equal to 3, which indicate M shell, and N is equal to 4 indicate N shell, and so on. These idea keep it in your mind, and now we study the important points involved in Bohr atom model. Here we studied about Bohr atom model. Niels Bohr 1930 proposed a new model of atom. This model is known as Bohr's atom model. This model is based on the following postulates. First one, an atom consists of a small positively charged nucleus in the center and the electrons revolve around it in a circular path known as orbits. So the first point is an atom consists of a small positively charged nucleus in which the electrons are revolve around it in a circular path known as orbits. Second one, a large number of circular orbits are possible around the nucleus, but the electrons revolve only those orbits in which they have a fixed amount of energy. So these orbits are known as energy levels or stationary state. The word stationary state means the energy of an electron revolving in a particular orbit is fixed and does not change with time. Fixed amount of energy orbits are known as stationary states or energy levels. Then third one, according to Bohr, an electron neither emit nor absorb energy as long as it stays in a particular orbit. So that is, there is no energy absorption or emission takes place when an electron is present in a particular orbit or energy level or a stationary state. However, when they absorb energy, then electron may jump from lower energy level to higher energy level. The lower energy level is known as ground state and the higher energy level is known as excited state. So, when the electrons from a particular orbit absorb energy from outside, then they jump from the lower energy level to higher energy level. Then this higher energy level is highly unstable. So, the higher energy level is otherwise known as excited state. So, the excited state is unstable and these electrons release that amount of energy and goes to the ground state or lower energy state. So, That is, the change in energy occurs is denoted as the symbol delta E is equal to E2 minus E1, where delta E is the change in energy, which is equal to E2 is the energy of higher energy level and E1 is the energy of lower energy level. But we know that E is equal to h nu. This equation is known as Planck's equation. So E is the energy is equal to h is the Planck's constant. H is the Planck's constant, nu is the frequency. Right here we can write nu is equal to E by h. Then here the energy change occurs, then E can be written as delta E. So nu is equal to delta E by h. So we already write delta E is equal to E2 minus E1. So here we can write nu is equal to E2 minus E1 divided by h. This equation or expression is known as Bose frequency rule. This expression is known as Bose frequency rule. Frequency nu is equal to E2 minus E1 by h, or otherwise delta E by h. Then the fourth point is the angular momentum of an electron in a given stationary state can be expressed as, you know, the angular momentum can be found out by the equation mass into velocity into the radius of circular path. Then the angular momentum of electron, because electrons are revolving around a circular path, so it's also having angular momentum. So it can be calculated as MVR, angular momentum, is equal to n into h by 2 pi, where m is the mass of electron, v is the velocity of electron, r is the radius of orbit, and h is the Planck's constant, n is the orbit. That means n is equal to 1, that is near to the nucleus, n is equal to 2, n is equal to 3, etc. So from this point we can conclude that the angular momentum means the presence of electron. So the electrons can move only around the nucleus in a particular orbits. So there are more spaces are present in around the nucleus, but these electrons only revolving around a fixed orbits. Merits of this Bohr atom model. First one, the radii of stationary state of hydrogen atom is given by the expression Rn, radius. Rn is equal to A0 into n square, where A0 is calculated as 52.9 picometer. This is a constant. Then when n is equal to 1, then n is equal to 1 means R1 is equal to A0 into 1 square, which is equal to R1 is equal to A0, which is equal to 52.9 picometer. Thus, the radius of first stationary state n is equal to 1 is called Bose radius. The radius of first stationary state n is equal to 1 is called Bose radius. Its value is 52.9 picometer. So, from the Bohr atom model, first merit is we can calculate the radius of an orbit in which the electrons are present. When n is equal to 1, what is the radius? N is equal to 2, what is its radius? So can be calculated by the general equation Rn is equal to A0 into n square. Then next merit is the energy of electron in different stationary state can be calculated by the equation En is equal to minus RH into 1 by n square, where RH is known as the Rydberg's constant and its value is 2.18 into 10 raised to minus 18 joules. When n is equal to 1, then E1 is equal to, instead of N1, so E1 is equal to, RH value is 2.18 into 10 raised to minus 18, already minus is there, minus 2.18 into 10 raised to minus 18 into 1 by n square, where n is equal to 1. So, E1 is equal to minus 2.18 into 10 raised to minus 18 joules. When n is equal to 2, then substitute this in this equation, then we get E2. E2 is equal to, n is 2, E2 is equal to minus 2.18 into 10 raised to minus 18 into 1 by 2 square. Similarly, we can write E3 is equal to minus 2.18 into 10 raised to minus 18, 1 by 3 square joules, etc. The third merit of Bohr atom model is it explains the stability of the atom. This is very important merit of Bohr atom model. It explains the stability of the atom. According to Bohr, an electron cannot lose energy when it stays in a particular orbit. Therefore, the question of losing energy and falling into the nucleus does not arise. The next merit of Bohr atom model is the energy of one electron present in ionic species such as He plus, Li2 plus, Be3 plus, etc. are given by the expression. So listen, He plus, how many electrons? The atomic number is 2. Then 1 electron is removed, then it becomes 1 electron. So total helium atom 2 electrons are present, but we remove 1 electron, then we get He plus ion. It consists of only 1 electron. The next one, Li2 plus ion, lithium atomic number 3, that means 3 electrons are present in lithium atom, then 2 electrons are removed, then Li2 plus also consists of 1 electron. Then Be3 plus, beryllium atomic number 4, then it consists of total 4 electrons. Out of this, 3 electrons are removed, then this Be3 plus also consists of 1 electron. So these are 1 electron species. Then the energy of 1 electron species are given by the expression En is equal to minus 2.18 into 10 raised to minus 18 Ez square by n square joules. So energy of 1 electron system can be given by the expression minus 2.18 into 10 raised to minus 18 Ez square by n square joule. And the radii of 1 electron species can be calculated by the expression Rn is equal to 52.9 n square by Z picometer, where Z is the atomic number. So, these are the important merits of Bohr atom model. Next, demerits of Bohr atom model. First one is, it could not explain the ability of atoms to form molecules by chemical bonds. So that is, according to Bohr atom model, the atoms are already stable. Then why they combine to form molecules? That is the one demerit. Could not explain the ability of atoms to form molecules by chemical bonds. Second one, Bohr's theory was unable to explain the splitting of spectral lines in the presence of magnetic field known as Zeeman effect or an electric field known as Stark effect. You know the spectrum, when a white light is passed through a prism, then this white light is split up into 7 different colors, that is VIBGYOR. This is known as spectrum. Then the spectrum becomes split up when a magnetic field or electric field is present. Splitting of spectral lines in magnetic field is known as Zeeman effect, and the splitting of spectral lines in electric field is known as Stark effect. These two effects cannot be explained by this Bohr atom model. The next demerit of Bohr atom model is, this model is unable to explain the spectrum of atoms other than hydrogen. Only this model could explain the spectrum of hydrogen atom. Then the fourth demerit is inability to explain the shape of molecules. Inability to explain the shape of molecule. This theory could not explain the shape of molecules. Then next, our portion is dual behavior of matter. Bohr atom model is over. Then dual behavior of matter. So matter-like particles such as electrons, photons means light particles, etc. show two types of behavior. Dual behavior means two types of behavior. That is, first find out by the French scientist de Broglie in 1924. He proposed that matter like radiation should exhibit dual behavior, that is both particle nature and wave nature. So matter like particles such as electrons, photons, etc. show dual behavior. Dual behavior means two behaviors, that is particle nature and wave nature. So this is known as dual behavior of matter. Then electrons have momentum as well as wavelength according to de Broglie. So de Broglie derived an expression related to wavelength, that is for related to wave nature, and momentum related to particle nature. Then he derived an expression lambda, wavelength lambda is equal to h by p, where lambda is the wavelength and h is Planck's constant and p is momentum, or lambda is equal to h by mv. You know, momentum p is equal to mass into velocity. So instead of this p we can write mv. So lambda is equal to h by mv. This equation is known as de Broglie's equation. So lambda is equal to h by mv, or lambda is equal to h by p. So according to de Broglie, matter like particles shows two characters or dual characters, wave nature and particle nature. Next, our portion is Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Werner Heisenberg in 1927 stated the uncertainty principle. It is very important one. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Uncertainty means not certain. Not certain means not accurate. That means it states that it is impossible to determine simultaneously the exact position and exact momentum of an electron. So that is, it states that it is impossible to determine simultaneously the exact position and exact momentum or velocity of an electron. That is, electrons are constantly revolving around the nucleus. So it is impossible to calculate the exact position and exact momentum of an electron is impossible. Okay, uncertainty principle can be expressed mathematically. Delta x into delta p is greater than or equal to h by 4 pi, where delta x is the uncertainty in position. If we calculate the position, then if there is definitely error is there, that uncertainty in position is known as delta x. Then delta p is the uncertainty in momentum, that means error occur in the calculation of momentum, that is taken as delta p. Then which is greater than or equal to h by 4 pi, that is the multiplication of this uncertainty in position and uncertainty in momentum are greater than or equal to h by 4 pi. H by 4 pi is a constant, h is Planck's constant, can be written as delta x into p can be written as mass into velocity. Mass of an electron is constant, then mass into delta v is greater than or equal to h by 4 pi. Then the constant mass goes to the right side, then become in the denominator. Then we can write delta x into delta v is greater than or equal to h by 4 pi m. So this is the mathematical expression for Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. It is very important one. It is impossible to determine the exact position and exact momentum of an electron. Next, the significance of Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. This principle is applicable only in the case of microscopic objects and it is negligible in the case of macroscopic objects. For example, it is applied to an object of mass in milligram, that is 10 raised to minus 6 kilogram. Then we can calculate delta x into delta v is equal to h by 4 pi m. Then substitute the value. Then we get h is Planck's constant. Its value is 6.626 into 10 raised to minus 34 divided by 4 into pi is 3.14 into mass is 10 raised to minus 6. Then we get the value 10 raised to minus 28 meter square second raised to minus 1. This is a very small value. In the case of macroscopic particle, this uncertainty principle is insignificant. Only it is applicable in the case of microscopic particles.